hello, Cancers. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. Hopefully, you're well and fine. My name is Patti. I'm an empath that is doing your intuitive tarot today. And I also do intuitive coaching. What that is sort of like spiritual coaching or spiritual counseling, but it is from the divine. I'm just the conduit. And he has given me wisdom, but also experiences that help people in their struggles, hard times, that kind of a thing. And plus, I have a degree that has a minor in psychology and behavioral thinking, human behavior. So let's get started here. This is between the 18th and the 24th. We are getting the energy. So I'm going to just share a little bit. So this week I did the beginning of the week, I did a video on communication. Now the divine's theme, and this is why I think he's had me do it, is that last week he had me do a video on live video on fear. So the theme he's got going this month is definitely fear and communication. So he's actually really trying to work on people trying to get back to the basics or get back to their foundation and their roots of where their fears are, and where it is also with communicating and communicating, being fearful to communicate. So this is the really big thing. And this card, that first card out for the oracle for this week's energies, is definitely one that comes up probably 3 times already through the signs. So I'll do a first oracle for the current energies, and then the second oracle I'll do for future energies. However, they are melding together. They are just melding together because I know the divine is trying to work on our core values, our core, our strengths, our fears, and things like that. So, and at the end, I will pull a card for oracle for the universe. So let's see what we've got going here. I've sort of got the same. Yeah, I've sort of got the same. I got a little gnat flying around. I'm afraid he's flying up my nose. So we have the same energies as a lot of the signs. Not surprised, just not surprised. So Cancer is independence and healthy boundaries. This was just done for the Pisces. And the cat wasn't the one, but it was definitely about healthy boundaries, setting standards, that kind of a thing. And then we have for the future energies is the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is all about discernment, prescience, prophecy, and vision. These just go hand in hand because it depends on where your thought process is, where your boundaries are. If you're earthbound foundation, or if you're spiritual foundation, where it's coming from. Discernment, I didn't know what discernment was for the longest time. I mean, it was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? But it just means that the gift of knowing or intuition, that kind of a thing, we all have it. It's just at what level do we have it? And if we want to train to have it, because sometimes people are afraid of it. Some people are afraid of gifts. The gifts that I have are people would be terrified of, because one, you end up being more living independent, quiet, alone life, because for me as an empath, people can't lie to me. They can't get away with it. And I'm sorry, but if you're in the dating world and guys want to get away with something, guess what? You can't. So they don't like that because they like to hide. Some men, not all men, but the things they want to hide, they can't. So the gift of discernment, the gift of prophecy, the gift of vision, there's a lot of people out there that are fearful of these abilities and these gifts. Now, let me tell you, though, about the vision. Everybody should have a real vision of where they want their path to go. That is the Aquarian energy that we're in right now, because we're moving forward. We're moving away from Capricorn, which is just dragging like a ball and chain, but the future energy of vision. Everybody should have a vision for what they want or where they want to go, what they want to do. Maybe they want to travel, but this vision needs to be a realistic vision. But you can also have steps to get to that vision. It's sort of like, successful people, whatever in that, They have a vision board, or they have a timeline where they say, okay, I'm going to do this, and then in this week I'm going to do this, and this month, and this year, and this blah blah blah. So it's really important to have that kind of vision. But with the high priestess, they're talking about a vision. It's like, oh, that's what that means. Oh, that's where that goes. So very different earthly vision versus spiritual vision, prophecy and things like that. I was just sharing yesterday with another empath some stories that we're having and things that we're going through. And she actually did not know that she was giving me a vision. And I had some dreams last night, and through my meditation, I was struggling through something. And this morning there was just vision, 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 vision. I was like, really? Okay, really? Seriously? You want me to do that again? Okay. So it's like vision. It's something that the spirit gives you an idea or a path or something. Now, remember the independence. The cat is very, very independent. But we also want to be dependent, but also need to be dependent a little bit, because that's we're human beings. We need to have some type of connection, but we also need to have healthy boundaries. We don't allow people to go over those boundaries. If they do, there should be some type of accountability. For somebody out there, though, this is the first card out, the Nine of Swords. Now, the Nine of Swords, somebody's really troubled about something. Hugely troubled. This is something that they just cannot get off their mind. This is something they can't sleep. It's bothered them. And it could be just something current, recent, or it could be something that has come to the surface, because that's the Capricorn energy, to be bringing stuff to the surface because they want the past to hang out. You want that past to go away so that the Aquarian energy can get you to move forward. That's not happening for somebody. I don't know who that's for. So we have the King of Wands, right? And these King of Wands is about the desires of the soul, along with communication. So there is a seeking of the desire of what they need to do for the soul. Again, the High Priestess. This is a spiritual thing. For somebody, I think somebody might actually be going through some awakenings that are terrifying. Maybe they're starting to have vision, like seeing things. Maybe somebody is hearing things that's terrifying them, because the Knight of Wands is about communication. Or maybe they think, oh, yeah, that, am I going crazy because of whatever it is? And so there's that fear, huge fear. And that's a fear to, I get people that want to set appointments just to talk about what they're going through because they don't understand it. They fear it, but they want it. They want to understand it. So they contact me and book a session. So we have the Five of Wands. Ooh, lots of wands. Communication. There's some kerfuffle going on. There's some arguing and fighting, standing up for what you believe in. For whatever this is for somebody. This is setting a healthy boundary. Here's the thing. If you haven't set a healthy boundary, hey, Star, welcome. If you haven't set a healthy boundary and then suddenly you have a healthy boundary, this happens in chemical dependency a lot. So boundaries have not been met, standards have not been met, or when you're I don't call addiction, I call it strongholds, because an addiction is sort of a negative way of putting it, because it just has a stronghold of you. This is a spiritual battle that you're having if you're having an addiction, or I say stronghold. But so that you know what I'm talking about, I say stronghold for addiction if you ever hear me say that again. But the thing is that when you have unhealthy boundaries and then you turn around and you set a healthy boundary, then it really throws your friends, your family, and everybody off whack. And why it throws them off whack, it's because now and you're building a foundation, you're building this healthy boundary. You're also maybe listening to something deep inside you that says, you know what, this isn't really right. This isn't acceptable. That intuition again inside you saying, why are you letting them get away with that? So when we set that healthy boundary, yeah, you're going to sort of like, where the frick did that come from? They're going to say, it was like, so when did you turn around and become God? That kind of a thing. You're going to get some friction. You're going to get that friction. Stand strong. Stand strong. You know what? That's the way, that's the old me. That's the Capricorn me. And this is me, the Aquarian me, moving forward. So this is what we are doing, is rebuilding a new healthy boundary system. So that's really, really important, because you are going to get some flack and some kickback from that. Don't let it kerfuffle you. Okay, so that came in upside down. So in reverse, we have the Queen of Swords, which in reverse, we are not being truthful with ourselves. We're not being honest with ourselves, or somebody is coming to you that those healthy boundaries, there's not healthy boundaries. So they're pushing the element. How far? How much more can I get from you? How much more can I use you for? How much more can, that's an unhealthy boundary. How much more can I use you as a doormat? That's somebody either coming towards you, or that's you allowing that unhealthy boundary. This is the time with the Capricorn energy. Let it go. Make a healthy boundary. Now, you know what? I've helped you enough. I'm really sorry I can't help you anymore. Or maybe somebody's being disrespectful and talking back to you and trying to demean you. Don't ever say that to me again in that tone, please. I don't deserve that. And they might have done it before. It's like, whoa, who just, where did that come from? It's like, you know what? I'm done. I need to set healthy boundaries. Do not do it again. If you do it again, then you have not a threat or an accountability, but you just sit there. I won't accept that. And if you continue to do it, I will leave. Because here's the thing, you've allowed it to happen so long, now they're used to it, but now you've got this strong personality saying, no, you're not going to treat me that way. You're not going to do that to me. You're not going to say that to me. You're not going to act that way to me. Do not do that. And this could go for men or women, because we need to stand up and make healthy boundaries. I don't know what that is for you, but that's what's going on right here. Now, for somebody else, this independence, you're too independent. So the cat becomes so independent, it doesn't need anything else. But when it gets hurt, it needs somebody. When it is starving, it needs somebody. The cat has to have some type of connection with another cat, another person, or whatever. Because if it got tangled up by a cougar or whatever, it needs a human being to take it to the vet. So we need to have at least a connection to other people, but not enable, because that's bad, or not, that's unhealthy boundaries, enabling somebody. Or you're actually having a connection to whatever it is to help, be there, be available, and have healthy standards and boundaries there. Welcome, Andrea. Oh, good question. So Andrea's question, and I'll talk about that a little bit at the end if you can hang on, because that is really, really, that's huge. That happens. I just had a gentleman contact me this morning, and his mother is toxic. So I'll share that here in a few minutes. All right. So let's keep going though, because a lot of people may not have a toxic person at the moment in their life, but they will, let me tell you. So, hi, free spirit. Welcome, welcome. So let's see where else we're going with this. Page of Pentacles. There's an offering. There's a message coming. Okay, and I'm going to get some clarity on that one, because we have more communication, more truth, more prophecy, more vision. So I'm not quite sure who this is for. This is not the same energy who this is for. Oh, okay, thank you. So somebody is really extremely independent with their finances. And but they're needing a new avenue. They're needing to set boundaries. They've had somebody come towards them that is in need of money. And so they have this offering that they could give them. However, somebody's really sort of skeptical. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Can they be trusted? Can they not be trusted? So that, I believe that's where that is. And the reason why I say that is because we have the Page of Swords right next to it. And with the Page of Swords, the Page of Swords is either about truth or not truth, and it could also, and also the Page of Swords looks backwards a little bit. So there might be something in that person's past that maybe made them questionable to loan money to. I would say in this instance, if it is about money and you want to loan it, just know that it'll disappear. And that's the way I tell even my daughter about money. I said, if you're going to loan it, don't expect it back because it may never come back. So if you can accept that when you loan it, it may never come back and you're okay with that, then do it. And if you have a problem with that, then don't loan it. Because a lot of the times people have good intentions, but as I teach, good intentions are empty. It's either you do or you don't. And then again, this is a healthy boundary setting. So if somebody doesn't trust somebody, if it's coming to money, well, that's a healthy boundary setting. Where is this person coming from that's borrowing the money? What is their background? And, is it more of an unstable background? Is it like they follow their word, they walk in the truth, or they're like, questionable, I don't know if this is actually going to come back. That doesn't even have to be just for money. This is where your vision, this is where your discernment, your intuition kicks in. And this could be not even loaning money. This could be loaning something not materialistic, something material. So if somebody needs to borrow something, are you okay with it coming back broken? Are you okay with it not coming back? Are you okay? And hopefully the healthy boundaries are there for the other person because you're trying to do something good. But if it's not, then you really have to listen to your intuition. Listen to that little voice telling you, don't do it. Or they're saying, yes, go ahead, trust them. They're really going through a hard time. Just give it to them and whatever it is. I don't know who that's for. A lot of pentacles coming up here. A lot of pentacles, just all of a sudden. Yeah, there is something going on with somebody. There's like some fighting, arguing coming up that is with money. Somebody's actually really has healthy boundaries with their money. Somebody really has that. However, somebody's not happy at all. So they're thinking about that. Remember I said, if you're going to give money, just say goodbye to it. But somebody's not happy about that or whatever material thing it was. And now that you're fighting to get it back or fighting to find out where it is or whatever it is, because you have the powerful, powerful King and Queen of Pentacles. Now, this is one energy. The other energy I'm coming through is that there is a couple out there that really are very materialistic. They're actually really not, they're not very spiritual bound. It's like, I know somebody like this that I just have on my Facebook and it drives me nuts. So focused on the things in life, so focused on all the stuff in life, but it's not making them happy. It is not making them happy. In fact, it's creating more havoc. And that's because their boundaries, their healthy boundaries, are not on the same page. Or their boundaries, let alone, are not on the same page. This is for a couple. This is for somebody different. And they're losing sleep. Whoever that is for. I don't know who that's for. And there's a lot of discussion going on in this couple. A lot. I don't know if they're towards divorce or what, but there is a lot of discussion about money in this. It's like it's so prevalent. It's almost like an idol with these two. And it's like one is just like, well, it's sort of like when you go through a divorce. Well, I bought the house and I put money into this and you just did this. So it's all like belittling that other person because they didn't put in enough, although they put in blood, sweat, and tears. But this person is like, well, yeah, but money means more. I don't know who that's for, but they're fighting. They are really fighting, whoever that's for. And they're focusing on such of the negative stuff. This is where their boundaries are broken. They're not even paying attention. They're not paying attention. They're trying to be two individual people in this relationship. They're trying to be two individual people doing their thing, which you're supposed to, but they're not coming together in the middle. In a marriage or a relationship, you have somebody here, they're doing their thing, because they have a story before they met. They have a journey where they want to go. This person has a story before they met, a journey where they want to go, and it's great. And at the end of the day, they come together and they make the same what do you call it, decisions and values. Hey, let's go take a trip to Hawaii. And one's like, no, I'm going to go to Bora Bora. No, well, how about Hawaii? Or how about we make something in the middle? There's not that happening with this couple, whoever this is. It's like, I'm going to Bora Bora whether you like it or not. I'm going to Hawaii whether you like it or not. Okay, fine. Let's take separate vacations. That's that couple. Oh, star. Biden probably, I'd like to know. Okay, all right. But you have to ask the divine that and ask him to share that with the cards. All right, let's see what else we got going here. Oh, wow. He really had me going on this one. Anyway, so we have to really look at how independent we are, have to look at our healthy boundaries, where they're at this week. And again, independence is really good, but we need each other. We need human interaction. We need human contact. We need human communication. We need human touch. We need that, whether it's going and hugging somebody, that you see out on the street. Oh, I haven't seen you in a long time. Human touch. I know we can't do that right now because of COVID, but it's all about that human touch. So people have to get it at home, because if they can't hug somebody out there, which I hate because I love to hug, although you got to be careful who you hug, especially as an empath, or you pull in their energies, which you don't want to do. And then you give off your good energies, so they go home happy and you go home sucked dry because they're an energy vampire. Anyway, so, but that's the thing, is human. We have to have that. For those others that it resonates with discernment, your intuition, this is the week to get grounding. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. We just have to get that grounding and the vision. All right. But there is somebody, I do not want to be this couple. Definitely do not want to be this couple. Okay, so again, there is something coming. We have the Page of Pentacles again for the second time. We also have Little Miss Queen Wands, who's all about a flutterbug. She's really likes to get around, communicate. Now, this about her, though, because there's a lot of pentacles here, there is somebody out there that actually is enjoying or going to be enjoying with their position or their work position. They're going to be moving around. So I see it sort of like moving around trade shows, or maybe they become sort of regional or district. And they're being asked to move around, and not move around like, oh, you got to go move over here for this job and be there for a year. This is more like, you're going on little trips for the company, or you're going to be doing something for the company. But this is because you have the gift. Somebody has a gift of not only being social, but they have that natural gift. Like when you go up to I do a lot of trade shows for the horse industry, but you go up to a booth and somebody's just got that gift of gab. That's this person. Somebody has a gift of gab. They're actually going to be utilizing that in some way of making money. Now, it could be like a coach. It could be like a teacher. It could be like a mentor. It could be something, but it has to do with also moving around to do it. I hope that's me, because I would love to be an inspirational speaker and be all over the United States and the world doing that. But the thing is that there is an opportunity coming for that. No property, star, not yet anyway. Oh, man. Although I don't know for Andrea if this toxic relationship might have hit home with not only you or somebody in your family or something, but this is a very toxic type relationship. This is not a healthy relationship who this is going through. And it's like one way or the highway kind of a relationship. Or, you know what, I'm just going to do whatever. I had a relationship like that. It's like, well, you're either marriage. He's like, you're going to move with me or I'm going to move on my own. I'm like, say what? Excuse me? And he did. I was like, see ya. There's no compromise. If there is no compromise, there is something wrong with the boundaries in that relationship. So, but I didn't do this. I said, okay, you know what? I just said, bye. This is not a marriage. I'll tell you, for all you guys out there, it doesn't matter what you're in. When you go into a relationship, whether it's when you're in communicating with a relationship, and I don't, yes, I did bring this up in the communication video. If you want to watch that, go to the playlist and you'll see it. But it is, when you go to find these independent and these healthy boundaries, I'll tell you right now that when you go to communicate with a partner, it is really important to learn the technique of I and you. So if you're speaking to a partner and they use the word you, like well, if you would do this, then I wouldn't be doing this. So that is a very destructive pattern of communication. If the person starts out, well, I feel like, when you do this, then I feel, you don't start out, you just say, when I start out with, I feel like really you don't like me when I'm, happy. And they may say, well, no, I just don't like your laugh or something. I don't know. But it could be in any type of form. However, my point is, when you start a conversation out with the word I, you're bringing the responsibility and accountability back on yourself for what you can control. If somebody starts out on the word you, then that person is putting that accountability and responsibility off of them onto another person, which is destructive, which is unhealthy, which they're broken, and they have to find out what part of them is broken when they do that. Does that make sense? Anyway, I don't know why I was supposed to share that, but the divine said share it, so I share it. All right, so let's see what the universe has to say about this. And while I'm trying to find what the universe is saying, Andrea, so let me see if I can answer your question here. Well, in dealing with a toxic person, first we'd have to find out what they're toxic in, how they're being toxic, and where that actually comes from. Is it toxic to you? Is it toxic to themselves and to others? Because a lot of the time, people that are toxic, they don't even realize they are. They think that they're fine because they don't have the denial, or they don't want to know out of fear. So if somebody, especially in abuse, somebody doesn't even realize that this is a power thing over another person. They're like, no, it's not. It's just you're being an idiot. You're being stupid. And that, for anybody verbally say that, I would say with me being sexually abused, verbally abused, and emotionally abused, I would say the easiest to get over is this physical abuse and the sexual abuse. The hardest to get over is the verbal, because that turns into emotional, and then you play that over and over and over in your head. So that's very toxic, and that takes therapy or counseling or coaching to help you get through that. So you don't want to have a toxic person in your life. If they're toxic, time to get rid of them. Maybe they'll come back later, because people do change. People do change. However, they're not at a place and a time right now to change, and it's more damaging, especially if there's children involved. It's more damaging because those kids see, hear, and know what is going on, even when there's a relationship and possibly facing divorce, or they're fighting all the time. Kids see and know. It's better to separate, have two healthy parents come together for the kids than to be together fighting and all that kind of stuff. Too toxic for the kids. Anyway, the universe is about being stuck. So who's being stuck? Who's not wanting to change their healthy boundaries? Who needs to change healthy boundaries, or doesn't know how to do those healthy boundaries? Who's being stuck in their intuition? Who's being stuck in wanting to learn more about that? However, they're just fearful of it. There's somebody being stuck. And number 6 is definitely about progress and growth. So it's holding you back. You're being your own saboteur, kind of a thing. Yeah. And then the sacred pool is about connecting the dots. So connecting the dots is helping you to go back and look at where things begin, whether it has to do with spiritual earthly, supernatural, that kind of a thing, and going back and asking yourself, why am I stuck here? Where did it start? Why is it not moving? There is a reason why it's not moving. So you have to sort of look at all those elements. Okay. Um, but there is a dot to dot connection, like the picture. You draw a flower and it's like number one connects to 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're drawing that, and okay, before you know it, it's a flower. That's what's happening in your life, in your journey, is that these people and things that are happening in your life is connecting the dots. And it's not by coincidence. I do not believe in coincidence. This is not happening by coincidence. This is happening through process, whatever is happening in your journey in your life. It is a good thing. It needs to happen. All this that is coming up, the Capricorn energies, all this garbage and baggage that is coming up, let it come up, because what's happening is that Capricorn energy, that big ball and chain, is trying to be let go so that the Aquarian energy 21-22 can move forward. It's what we, in the planetary one for the new moon, you'll hear me say it's death and rebirth, or death and birth. So something has to pretty much die off. The old self, the old way of thinking has to die off so that new way of thinking can take hold. That's where your boundaries are coming in. New healthy boundaries, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense to somebody. I don't know who that's for, but this is the energy the divine is giving for this month. Fear, communication, boundaries, foundation. That's where it's all coming. All right. So sorry, nothing about property. I want property too. I'm looking for property. I want to move. I want to be back out in the country. But Andrea, if you're still here, feel free to email me. Like I said, I'm going to tell everybody, as I do in these videos, because I had somebody ask me. I had a reading this week, and a couple of readings, and so everything is free. If you want to ask a question, it's free. The only time that I'm going to charge is if we do a one-on-one specifically for you, and then if we do a one-on-one coaching, whether it be nutrition, fitness, anything to do with mental, that kind of a thing. So please don't ever be fearful of asking me questions. And that's why if you go to my website now, the Get Balance 2020 and the, I can't plug this in. The Get Balance 2020 and the Divine Intuitive is all together. Because I want you guys to see that it's really important for your mindset, your spirit, and your body be all one in balance, because without one, you can't be in balance. So it's the way your mindset processes, the way here's how it works, just so you guys know. So your spirit is your intuition, your guide. It's the divine, it's God, whatever you want to believe in. That is from way before birth. So that we actually is our beginning of our thought process. It's like knowing love and truth. We know what's right. We know what's wrong. Why do we know it? It's just inside. Like animals know how to go hunt when they're out of the womb. They know how to go to hunt. They know how to walk. They know how to do all that kind of stuff. That's their spirit. That's our spirit. Our spirit speaks to our mind, our mindset. So when our spirit gets warped from the very beginning, abuse or whatever it is, then we have to retrain our brain, because our spirit has been damaged and hurt by someone or something. So we have to twist that mindset a little bit. As long as we get it back from the spirit, we change that mindset. That mindset then tells our body how to speak, what to speak, how to act, what to act, how to react, how not to react, how not to act. And so then once we get off here, then everything goes off. So if you get your spirit off, then the mindset's off, and then the body's off. So, and I learned that here, my book back here, I learned that when I lost all that weight, it wasn't about getting the body, losing weight first. It was about getting my spirit first, right? Fixing that foundation, then turning around and then changing my mindset. I am beautiful. I am not ugly. I am not fat. I am not whatever. That mindset, talking to yourself, then it would say, okay, yeah, I am going to go work out. I deserve this. My body deserves this. Oh, wow. I went from 215 pounds down to 136 in a year. Ooh, that's great. My body was great, but my head was still screwed up. So it took years to really figure that out. And then I learned that more in my nutrition and fitness degree. But that's what I'm talking about. That's why spirit, that's why your discernment has to come first. Your high priestess, your Hierophant, those comes first. And did you know that this year, 2021, the Hierophant is the card of the year? People are going to be on the fence or searching more for spirituality or asking questions more about spirituality than ever in many, many generations. And that's okay because we want to know, we're curious, and really nobody knows until they were actually dead. And we're not dead. It's this thing that dies, not the spirit. I can hear my mom and my brother and all kinds of people. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, don't ever hesitate not to email or ask me questions or put comments in. I would love that. I love the interaction with you guys and helping wherever I can. And then go to either one, Get Balanced 2020 or the Divine Warrior. Just click on one of those .com ones and it'll bring you to the same one. If you have questions or you want to research or look at videos from Get Balanced 2020 about mindset change and nutrition and fitness as well. No property there though. So, sorry, Star. So I hope you guys have a really good week. Now, next week is a full moon week. So if you haven't subscribed and you subscribe and hit the bell because you'll know when I'm on live, I will be doing a full moon reading along with your signs about what's happening with the full moon. You guys, this month though, I'm going to tell you it's all about communication and fear. What is it that you're fearing? Write it down, write the pros, the cons down, face those fears, face those giants. Go back and watch the fear video. That will really help you walk your steps through fear. And it can be paranormal fear or it can be actual real fear here on earth. But a lot of it has to do with fear of communication. A lot of people are fearful, especially in dating. They're afraid, well, if I say this, will he like me? Or if I say this, will she like me? And, it's, a lot of fear in communication because that's what the divine has me going on. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Thank you. Thank you. Please like, share, subscribe, bring a friend, share. I would really appreciate it. I love seeing you guys. Thank you, Andrea, and Free Spirit and Star always. All right. Take care, everybody.